Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a real good one. That's a real good one. Early morning kickoff, and today it's all about fishing, I suppose, new ground. Not a new waterway, but this is Gippsland Lakes. I'm spinning for flathead, and the whole target is like big ones. So I'm not fishing small lures, it's all big, gonna fish shallow. But I really just want to hit new areas because I love, every trip I like to try and find a new spot, unless they fail and then I'll fall back to my usual grounds. But you know, it's good to explore, you learn heaps, hopefully find a few fish along the way and just add to your repertoire for future trips. So I'm going to kick in on this shallow bank here. It's a big long straight, but what's interesting is it's a big long, say, sandy straight, but there's little sandy points popping out along it. So I'm going to really hit those points hard. We'll sneak in on the electric, and that's a good tip. When you come and do this stuff, don't just race in on the big motor. I like to sit out wide, I'll work a wider line, and then I'll go in and I'll work a shallower line. I don't want to drive straight in there and potentially go straight over fish that are sitting. I love this early morning stuff too, because theory being some fish have pushed up here through the night with this running tide. You know, it's nice and quiet, no boats around, and they're well settled and hopefully looking for a feed. Got a few different rods, swim bait, big unweighted plastic, so mix it up a bit. Really shallow stuff, we'll fish that bender. And then in that sort of meter water, I've got the swim bait, and then also the big unweighted plastic, which you can fish anything from, you know, this much water out to slightly deeper, because you can just let it swim down a little bit more. But I'll just sit out here for a bit. We're in 1.4, so we've just come up on the bank a little bit. So I'll just pull back out to see that point there. That's what I sort of want to work around. By rights, got this tide pushing in here. Potentially that backside edge could be very good. That's the start we're after. Wide, but that's all right. Well, he's all right. Like if you had to be a betting man, you'd say this is a good area, this little point out here. You've got just it'll be ridging up like that, and that fish would have just been, you know, sitting in a prime spot for bait getting pushed past. Now, I have one problem. In between the 50 rods and 3,000 lures I put in the boat, I forgot the big net. So I've got my small net, and that concerns me a bit, because if I get a really, really big flathead, and this is a nice one, but if I get a really big one, it's going to be interesting. But we will do our absolute best not to make a complete show of it. There we go. Oh, he's a nice fish to kick off the morning, that's for sure. Now, just keep his head in the water. And this is on one of the Jackal Gantia swim baits. Oh, come on, mate, come on. Just do the right thing for me. Do the right thing. Oh, you just got to be careful too. When you've got these big lures and big hooks, obviously you've got to get the fish in the net properly, because you don't want to get the lure caught up on the net before the fish sort of comes in. Oh, that's a good fish. Yeah, that's a real nice way to kick off the day. Very, very happy with that. That's a cracking way to kick off a morning. They're just so fat. Thumb grip. Try and keep that fish sitting on the net for now, because the net's wet. There you go, I'll just lift her up, give you a quick look. There, that's a really, really nice way to kick off a morning. Look how thick they are. They're in absolute prime condition. There's just so much food in these Gippsland lakes, and that's that jackal gantia that she's eaten. And that colour's called King of the Night, and I just like it. It's white, it just stands out. But what we'll do now, get that out. That is the most important thing. No, I'm actually making a mess of this, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of water in the live well. And I'll just sit in there for a sec, and that's absolutely fine to do that because she's at least having a bit of a breathe for a sec. Let's get this done. Get her back, but get back to fishing. And you see here there's swans, and they're actually a really good gauge of water depth because they will be in water that's only deep enough that they can reach the bottom. So you can see further up the bank there's swans sitting out a fair way, dipping their heads down. So you go, it's obviously shallow further out. So use them as a bit of a gauge as to where you might want to be fishing. All right, let's do this. Get a really good thumb grip on them because the big ones are pretty strong. Set it straight. 79. But you can see the absolute thickness of that fish. That is as good a kick-off to a day as you could ever hope for, I believe. If we don't find a bigger fish than this, I'll be happy. Let's send her back. Here you go, girl. Let me get her breath back. Okay, so make a bit of a mess of the back treble on the gantia. There's one of the hook points there. I'll just stick that in the carpet for later, so I'll probably walk on it with no shoes on. That treble is shot, and what I did was I took the ST66 trebles off the gantia, which they come with, and are awesome for, you know, your barramundi and all that sort of stuff. But for the flatties, I do like that sort of wide, slightly lighter gauge treble. So going back down to one of these, so that's a finer gauge owner treble there, and I'll show you the difference between, and they're still incredibly strong, but you know, the flatties mouth the way it is, it's not overly hard. We're not using heavy tackle. You don't need ridiculously thick hooks, and I just, you know, work on the theory that that thinner hook, lighter tackle, you're going to get a better penetration every time. So that's the ST66, and that's the, and I think, don't hold me to it, I think it's a 56 or a 58, but you can see it's a little bit thinner, still the same size, does the job beautifully. So if you have yourself a little tackle box of bits and pieces like that, so I've got all my worm hooks and chin weights and snaps and spare trebles and split rings, this gets you well and truly out of trouble. It was neat about 15 minutes ago until I started rummaging around in it. And then I even have the top of them labelled, so when they're in the tackle box, we know, or the tackle bag, we know exactly what we're looking for. Split ring pliers would be good too, but I think I forgot them. Running straight through 16-pound fluorocarbon. On this, all the other rods have got braid with leader, but this guy's just got the fluoro straight through. Oh, he come back for it. He fully whacked it and then came back for it. Little fish though. Let's see how we go. There we are. That's just your, I say that's a normal size flathead, but that's still a really nice fish. Get these hooks out, send you back. That, there we go. You're off, and that's the 120mm bender. That nice pearly white, orange belly really stands out. I can see it, and I think that's a really important thing too, because while this is sand flat, there's little patches of weed and little divots and things, so I like to be able to see my lure so that when I'm working it, when I get to something that looks good, like I'll hit a weed patch, work it over the weed patch and then pause it when it hits the sand, because that's where the flatties will be sitting, it's like right on the edge of it. So when you can see your lure, you can pause it and move it at the right time. Anyway, that theory worked. Let's keep going. Okay, so now I'm in an area that I think is good because I've had a few bites. I'm going to just tick back into the current, nice and slow, hold the boat nice and straight, and just crawl my way along. I'm just punching the bender in as far as I can, or whatever lure. There's no water that's too shallow for a flathead. As long as it's covering their back, they'll sit in it. So oftentimes those areas that you think are too shallow, that's where the big girls will be. They'll sit out deep too, but they do love the shallows. And then I'm just doing a twitch, 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 pause. The bites generally either a real little pluck on these, you know, bender style bent lures, or they crash it because it's sort of moving quite aggressively through the water. So on that pause, always be ready for a tap or a big bite. I'm running 30-pound leader on this because although that's 120 mil long, a big fish can easily swallow that all the way down. So 30-pound leader, it's got a little snap on the front. You can run a snap or a loop knot, whatever you want. And they've got those, you know, sort of mid-gauge trebles on them, which is always a good thing if you get a big fish on. Make this one stick. I've literally dropped 2 solid fish in the last. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. I haven't even got the electric in. I was making a move and I just thought, oh, I'll just stop on this little sandy point here. And I've pulled the hooks on 2. One was a really nice one. And then if I can get this guy to stick, that would be great. Okay. Nice fish. The trick is you want to keep their head in the water as best you can. It's actually not a bad thing. This fish is on the upwind side of us, so we keep drifting away from him, so he's not going to end up hopefully going under the boat. And we face the problem again of a net that's not big enough. Good problem to have though. He's no giant, but that's a real nice fish. Oh, such a good class of fish. The thing I love about these Gippsland flatties too, they're all different colours. You'll get light sandy coloured ones and black ones with white spots. And like this guy's got a bit of yellow in him. All right, there you go. Probably around that 70 centimetre mark. Pop him back. Grey coloured fish and just in such good condition. Send him back here. Alrighty, let's get another one. What are we doing? There must be a few fish in this pocket. There must be a few fish. Because that was second cast since the last one. Ooh, I can't see it, but this might be a good one. Sort of carrying on like a good one. Having a real go. Jeez, this is one of the new Stradics. It's the 3000 size, and I like that 3000 size because it gives me good casting distance, and I've got it on this 6 to 12 pound Expride. It's the 270 mH, and it just throws that sort of, this one's having a proper go. Throws that 120 bender just so well. It's a bit pokey in the tip, you know, or a 6-inch plastic or something like that. It just, that little bit of poke in the tip, it gives you a really good hook set, helps you to work these slightly bigger lures. Far out. And I have never fished here before. I can honestly say that I have never fished this 200 metres of water that I'm currently in now. But I'm pretty excited because I've had a few bites here in, it wouldn't be a dozen casts. I'm going to get us out of here because we're in really shallow water and there'll be more fish all up through here, and I don't really want to upset the rest of them. Whatever was here is now spooked by this fish. I haven't even seen this thing yet. But it's moving a bit of water when it pokes its sort of tail out, or having a go. Jeez, having a proper go. Carrying on like an absolute giant. No, don't do that. She's sitting down deep, just shaking her head. We don't want that, because that bender's just hooked sort of in the corner of her jaw, so hopefully it's well hooked. But oh yeah, it's a nice fish. It is a nice one. Yeah, that's a nice fish. Now, this is not going to be the fun bit, because my effectively butterfly net, back this way, away from the electric. How am I going to do this? This could all end in tears. All right, give it a shot. Let's see how we go. This could end badly. It's into the 80s, that's for sure, this fish. I don't think it's 90, but it's well into the 80s. Head down. Oh, that's a good fish. Look at that. Look how thick it is. Donkey. Oh yeah. Oh, that little bad boy out. She's going to be well over 70. What do we got? What have we got? Let's slide this from here. What do we got? She's actually, what's that? 84. Yep. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. I am so happy with this light drizzle. You know, it hasn't been easy this morning, but that is a ripping fish. I am so happy about that. All right, this big girl's done her thing, given me a whole lot of enjoyment for the morning. And now it's time for her to go back and make a bunch more big flatheads. She's off. Really important that you concentrate when you're doing this too. It's so easy to sort of get a fish and then you just start fishing faster. So it's really, really important that you take note of how your retrieve is when you get a bite, all that sort of stuff. But then when you get that fish, you know, concentrate on keeping your retrieve slow and doing it right, or if you're fishing fast, make sure you keep doing that. But that's really important. Like, I know that I'll quite often catch a fish and then you're in the moment and you keep fishing, and a couple of casts later you're like, oh yeah, I've got to slow down. I was sort of doing 3 turns and a pause, that when I got the fish, and all of a sudden I'm doing 5 turns. So keep those little things in mind and it'll help you catch a few more, without doubt. Time to make a move. Get out of here. Let's go find a new bank. My whole plan is to not fish spots I've fished before. So, up or down? We'll go down for a look. Don't know. Never been here before. Give it a go. Looks good. Got a point here, big shallow point feeding out. Only got 2 meters of water here. Bit of a gutter, another big point over there. So I might hit this one quickly. Sit off the edge. I'll hit this one, work that edge, and then I might skip over to where there's 800,000 swans and water hens. Don't know, see how we go. That's a good fish, I think. That's a good fish. Made a small move, big flat. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a real good one. Oh, that's a real good one. That's a real good one. In super shallow water here. That's a real good fish. She hasn't really woken up yet. And to give you an idea of the sort of shallows that you can fish, I reckon it's 400 or 500 meters till you get back to a couple of meters of water. This is literally half to 1 meter deep all through here. And as all I'm doing is poking along, there's a lot of weed and dark bottom, and just really trying to pinpoint any area of sand. Not that they won't be on the dark stuff, but it just gives you something to sort of aim for. This is a nice fish, this one. Putting that rod to the side a little bit because I don't want her to stick her head up. The bite was awesome. She was on the sand that's behind me here. And this really is sort of perfect territory for fishing the bender just because it's so shallow and you've got weed patches everywhere that, you know, most other lures are either going to get weed on them or plough into the bottom. Whereas you can work that bender just a couple of inches under the surface. Come on, come on. Just want to sort of go with her when she makes the lunges. Certainly don't pull back. Nice looking fish too. You get your eye in a bit on areas you go, there should be a fish there, and no, keep your head in the water. You get your eye in a bit and you go, there should be a fish there. And sort of like when you get the, oh, that's a good one. That is fat. That is as fat a flathead as you could ever hope for. Look at that. That is a proper Gippsland donkey. Look at her stomach. She's just in 100% condition. Look at that. You could not hope to find a better looking, fatter flathead anywhere. That is an absolute crack. I see how she's a bit dark on the bottom there, that dark marking. That's from probably laying on that weedy bottom. She's an absolutely beautiful fish and has just clobbered that bender. I'm going to put her in the well. Get her in the water so she can have a breather, and we'll give her a measure in a minute. She's not long, she's just fat. Stop it. Settle down. Sit that out there. I reckon she's sort of in the 80s, but it's just, as I said, she's just so fat. When you pick up your flathead like that, you know it's big. Yeah, she's not even that long. So she's 80 on the knocker. But as I said, just big and fat in every single way. Get you in there. There could be more just on this patch of sand. That is just the fattest flathead ever. Oh, she's off. Unbelievable fishing.